Hi, gang. Get. Today we're going to do something probably not a lot of y'all have ever seen done. We're actually going to rub a country ham the old-time way, salt and sugar cure. I know there's a buttload of videos on YouTube, and the guys down at University of Kentucky, I want to show a big thanks to them. They did a really nice expose on how to do this. I haven't done it since I was like 12. I'm 56 now, so yeah, I needed a refresher course. I'm not ashamed to admit it. So, somebody putting their nose where it shouldn't ought to be. So, you're going to get to ride along and watch me work this ham up and cure it out the way they did before the days of refrigeration and all that fun stuff. And you're going to see me use a lot of salt, so before everybody starts having a wall-eyed fit about how bad it is for you, that salt's what did most of the curing. The brown sugar and everything else it helps some, but it doesn't draw the moisture like salt does. And this ham, once we rub it, I hang it, it'll stay up there for about 21 days. I'll take it down and we'll do it again. We'll rub it again, work some more of that salt sugar cure in, because this stuff, as long as you seal it, I'll let you watch me make it up. As long as you keep it in an airtight container and put it like in the fridge somewhere where there's low humidity. That's the biggest thing, because it is hygroscopic. Keep it somewhere where it's low humidity. That stuff will keep from year to year. So I got enough here to do several hams. I'm only going to do one this year as an experiment, because if it doesn't turn out right, well, then I'm only out one ham. Not that that's a good thing, but it is what it is. So pull up a chair, gather around, and let's do this. You can see I got me a nice clean pan. Just took it in the house and desecrated the wife's kitchen sink, so if anybody's got an extra bedroom, I'm liable to need it. This will come into play later. This kind of looks like cheesecloth, and it pretty much is. It's called a meat sock. Get your mind out of the gutter, you bunch of perverts. It's for once you are done rubbing the ham and working it all in, this is what you hang it in so that the air can get to it, the moisture can evaporate and escape, and it doesn't create a sealed environment to where it would just lay there and molder, smolder, and start rotting and festering and everything else. So to keep this clean, I'm going to stuff it in the old shirt pocket here. And now for the star of our show. One fresh country ham from the gang down at Three Springs. They're just down the road here in Sharpsburg, Dargan, down that neck of the woods. Now, this one is scun. Usually, when we would do them in the past, they would still have the rind on them. They'd have the hock on them. Well, he scun this one and deboned it. So if this thing don't keep, it's my own damn fault. I can tell you that. Because that is a very well-prepared ham. A little different than the way I'm used to doing it, but we're going to give it a whirl and see what happens. Okay, now, for your ingredients for the salt rub. Plain salt, as in this salt does not provide iodine, a necessary nutrient. Now that is true, but if you use iodized salt to rub this ham, it is going to come out tasting like, yeah, the dog won't even play with it. So it's about 2 pounds, 20 ounces is what they call for salt, which is like just over 3 pounds of salt. So I got 1 pound and 10 ounces here. So in each can, so that's 2 pounds 20, so that's 3 pounds and 4 ounces. And you're real simple, just open her up, dump a layer in there in the bottom. So like I said, the salt's what does 90% of the curing. Okay, that's enough of that for now. Actually, what I'll do, you can see I'm just started dumping it in there. This thing's taking forever to put salt in this way, so we're going to expedite the process a little bit. We're just going to lay it to her. Lay the salt to her, boys. Because most of this will get absorbed into the ham. It'll actually get soaked in and it'll displace the water, and almost like a pickling cure or a brine cure. They actually have a soaking cure that they do which is basically the same thing in water. And I was going to try to, no, I'm going to pass on that for the moment. I'm going to just go back doing it the way me and Dad did it. And hopefully it comes out good. But second can of salt going in. And that should be more than enough to get this ham right. The reason I was so happy with Jeff offering it to debone it for me is those of you that have ever done this or know anything about curing meats, you know what bone sour is. Normally a ham down by the hock, there's a joint up in there where the hock meets the hip. And it's really hard to get the curing in there. That's why they do a lot of injection cure nowadays at these modern butcher shops. They do, they inject the liquid cures and smokes and flavors and whatever else all in there. Now, we put in the salt. You can see there, that's fast cure. It's called first mixture or fast mixture cure. Because basically this contains salt, 6.25% sodium nitrate, and a little bit of food coloring. Now, I'm not sure what the food coloring is supposed to do for it, but the guys down at the University of Kentucky, they call it the pink powder. So, and they strongly recommend it. I know we never use nitrates, sodium nitrate or anything in ours that I'm aware of. But Dad's not here anymore to ask. So we're going to put a little bit of pink powder in there. Not too much. Now we'll get to the yummy part of it. Now some people use white sugar, they use stevia, they use all these different sweeteners. And I like to use the dark brown sugar. You can get light or dark. I always get the dark brown. I think it just gives it a little more of a flavor to it because of the extra molasses in it. And we'll put us a good jag of that in there. I didn't make up a whole lot because I'm only doing this one ham. So if I run out, well, I'm going to have to make a mad dash down to Dollar General. But I think we'll be all right. I do believe we'll be all right on this one. And again, this is more for a flavoring to offset all that salt and keep it from getting bitter or just tasting like brine meat. So squeeze us a little jag of the old molasses sugar in there. Lay that off into my come and get it for later. There you can see I kind of got a conglomeration going in there. Now we'll just take and work it all together and mix it. And normally they tell you, and I recommend it too, wear a pair of gloves. It's like those big yellow ones like Dexter's mom wears in the cartoon, or like your mom used to use when she was cleaning house. They're great. They are wonderful. The reason I say that is if you have a cut anywhere on your body, this stuff will find its way in there. I promise you, it will find its way in there. I don't know how. You can have a cut on the back of your pinky toe, and this stuff will find its way down there, and it will burn like the fires of hell. And Lord help you if you got a hangnail or something going on like that. Okay, you can kind of see there it's getting there, but it's still, the brown sugar's lumpy because it's damp. So I'm going to really get into the process here and use both hands. I think I might throw a little more brown sugar to this. I ain't happy with the way it's coming out. I'm really not. But try to crush up all them lumps, because that's solid, little clumps of brown sugar that, you rub it in, and you kind of want the salt to get there along with the sugar. So you gotta, this is one of those points in the game that doesn't seem like it's that critical. He's just mixing stuff together. What the hell, Yeah, if it ain't mixed up really, really good, you're going to have issues. Because, like I said, you're going to put that nice little lump of brown sugar into a spot that you probably ought to have a little more salt. And I'm just kind of anal retentive like that. And again, thanks to everybody, sticking around for me. I know this probably isn't the most fun you've ever had, but hey, watching somebody else do something, maybe I can pass this skill on if it works out right. It'll be a skill to pass on to your kids, because the stuff you get in the stores, it's all right. I mean, it ain't going to kill you, I don't think, maybe. But I don't know, just something about doing it yourself and, all part of the whole preparedness thing. You don't want to you may not want to do it, but at least you know how to do it if you have to do it. You're not just standing there wringing your hands and, pulling out your hair because it can be done, but you have no clue why. So hopefully this will give you a little education. And yes, I talk too much. I know. Put a sock in it. Okay, we're starting to look pretty good there. Okay, and now it is time for Mr. Pig Butt here to get salsified. That's a pretty good size. It has a decent amount of fat on it, not a lot. You can see there where I'm pulling it out. That's where the hawk used to be. He cut all that bone out of there for me. You can see there, he deboned it. Now what that means is I'm going to be able to pack this curing in there. This bad boy should roll up nice. Okay, for those of you that are going to do this with a ham that has a rind on it, that's the way you usually get a ham. It'll have the rind on it. You always want to coat the bare parts that don't have the rind, because the curing's not going to really penetrate through that skin real good. Pigs are kind of thick-skinned like that. There you can see I've just flipped it over. There you can see all that bare lean meat in there. It's not scun or anything. And this is where, if you're a little squeamish, look at that. Woohoo! Hey guys, here's my fingers. Right on through. You can reach right through there, work that seasoning in there real good, and then just rub the muck out of it. Rub the daylights out of it. Pack that stuff in there, work it down into all that open meat, and that salt, all that stuff will work up through there. There, you can see I just flipped it over on the back side. This would have been the side I just showed you would have been the side that was on the outside of the pig, if he was still strolling around. This is the part this is what makes or breaks the ham. You're getting this rubbed in there, not being in a hurry. Don't lollygag, but at the same time, don't be in a hurry, just slap someone there and get out of there. Rub that stuff in, work it, turn it, work it some more, then work it some more after that. Work that bad boy and out. Work her in there good. You're going to end up, when it's all said and done, you're going to wash this ham anyway. Get the worst of the salt off before you eat it. And it takes about 3 weeks, about 21 days, for a ham this size to cure out good. And yeah, I'm still rubbing her and grinding it in, and I'm doing everything I can to make her come out and taste good. Plus, you won't want it to sour. Definitely don't want it to spoil. And you just keep on rubbing, and rubbing, and rubbing, and rubbing. Flip it over. Oh, let's rub some on this side. This side looks lovely, looks lonely. So we're going to ram-a-lam some more up in the center. Ram her up in there, boys. Now, I said earlier about wrapping it in butcher paper or a paper bag. Now, I am going to do the paper bag thing this time. I wasn't going to, but I'm standing here looking at the way this is soaking in and the way it's working up. And I really think this time around, I'm going to put it in a brown paper bag for about 3 weeks to help hold the salt. And I got a good place to put it where it will stay nice and cool, but it won't freeze. That's the biggest thing. The old meat houses back in the day, you had to do this in the winter because you didn't have refrigeration. But you had to extend your curing time because once it froze, the curing stopped for the most part. But with this much salt, you could get away with colder temperatures and it wouldn't freeze. I would just like putting salt on the road or on your sidewalk. The moisture won't freeze. There you get a little better look of what we're playing with there. There she is. There she is. We're getting her. Keep flopping her around. Just keep working and working and working. And I can remember doing this with my dad. It'd be so damn cold in that meat house, you couldn't stand it. And invariably, I'd get a cut somewhere. And oh my sweet baby Jesus riding in the sidecar of a Harley. You talk